honeys, welcome back to another video. And I see that I have new subscribers, so welcome. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Hit that subscribe button and get notifications when a new video comes up. And we're back for part 2 of breastfeeding. So let me tell you something. With the breastfeeding topic, I'm gonna have to have like follow-ups. I don't know, if you have questions for me, drop them on the comments below and I'll do another video sometime about, breastfeeding updates and just answering your questions on exclusively breastfeeding. So this video is about the do's and don'ts of breastfeeding and what could help you with increasing your milk supply. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. I have no idea. I just feel pretty energetic. I feel super happy. I feel like, God is good. God is good, okay? So today I'm doing part 2. Let me get comfortable. So today I'm doing a part 2 of breastfeeding, but with this video I'm going to do the do's and don'ts of breastfeeding, and this is just from my experience of exclusively breastfeeding my baby, and it's been 4.5 months now, and it's been quite an interesting journey. If you want to learn more about that, go back to my previous video and see part 1, okay? The do's. Let's do the do's. Yeah, let's do the do's or my tips of how to have a successful breastfeeding journey. Okay, so tip number 1, drink plenty of fluids. So breast milk is like 80% water. It's quite obvious. You need to, have a lot of water intake so your body doesn't get dehydrated and your milk supply does not decrease. This also, I don't know if it did increase my milk supply, but I know that every time I drank water while I'm in the midst of a breastfeeding session, like I can actually feel my flow going, like my flow comes down faster. And so I feel like your body really needs this liquid to just know that I'm not going to be dehydrated. I'm not sacrificing my water for the body. But drink plenty of water, drink plenty of fluids, be it tea, juice, whatever it is that you prefer. Drink a lot of fluid and increase that supply as well as nourish your body and your baby. So tip number 2. Gosh, baby.
Can I take the charger? So I can come back in.
Yeah, okay.
Come on.
Thanks. Food.
Go fish!
Love you. My husband giving me food. I don't know why he does this when I'm recording. Like, I just feel like he thinks I need like fuel for recording session. But we love him. We appreciate the thought. Okay, so tip number 2 with breastfeeding is have patience. I know it seems like a obvious one, but literally, like, this is something that you have to remind yourself, especially in the beginning. Like, have patience. Have patience. It gets better. My milk supply will increase as long as my baby is on the boob constantly, so my body knows how much milk to produce. So please have patience and know that it does get better. Do not be impatient with yourself or your body. That doesn't do anything but stress you out. Have patience and just know that it gets better. Do not give up on your mission. Just know the end goal is to nourish your baby as well as just have a healthy mama. Okay. And then tip number 3, eat regularly and don't skip your meals. I know after postpartum, or not after postpartum, but after giving birth and during postpartum, like your main focus is just to get your old self back and and your baby, obviously. but in your mind you're just like, I want to lose weight, I want to feel great so I can be great for my baby. But you skipping meals actually does the counter opposite. Like, your body feels like it's in starvation mode and it's stressed out because it's going through postpartum and it still has to produce milk, and it just stores all this fat, so energy for when it's in the starvation or fasting period. So don't skip your meals. Make sure you eat regularly and eat healthy, good stuff that have benefit for your body and your baby's body. Number 4 is sit comfortably. I know this seems like an obvious one, but it's actually not, because when your baby is screaming and crying, you literally just want to sit wherever, and you want to breastfeed this baby and get it over and done with, which creates such a stressful environment for both you and the baby. So make sure when you do have your breastfeeding sessions, or when you have feeding sessions, that you have like 2-3 spots that you use in the house, and everybody knows in the house that these are your spots for breastfeeding. So if you're in the kitchen or in the lounge or whatever, that you have spots for breastfeeding and you can sit comfortably. You should be comfortable enough to be able to fall asleep when you are breastfeeding. Doesn't matter which position you're in. You could be laying down, sideways, or sitting up, but you should be so relaxed that you're able to have a cup of tea, or drink water, or you're able to watch something. Whatever it is that you're doing during your breastfeeding session, make sure that your back and you feel comfortable enough to sit in that position for the next hour, because you don't know how long your baby will breastfeed for. So don't make it a stressful session by like sitting in an uncomfortable way. Tip number 5, give yourself grace. So this does also tie into patience, but what I mean by grace is, sometimes you might get mad, you might get angry at the people around you, they don't know or understand what you're going through. Or sometimes you may get, a bit frustrated with your baby if they're not feeding well, or if they are distracted while they're feeding. Give yourself grace, knowing that you're learning yourself, because when your baby is born, you're also born. A mom is born, because you haven't been, you're not a mom instantly. Like, you're not born a mom, you become a mom. And so give yourself grace to know that you're not always going to be emotionally, stable or emotionally reasonable during this period, and it's okay. It's okay. The second last tip is pump to relieve yourself from engorgement, and pump to relieve yourself from feeding the baby, and you can have some time out. So in between my feeds, I make sure that I pump. So my greatest pumping hour is in the AMs, which is like 3 a.m. or just before the morning, the official morning feeding session starts around 8 o'clock. So my best pumping hour is between 3 to 6 a.m. and I make sure that I at least get 1 bag in per day, and I store it for when I need it, when I need to be relieved, when my mom-in-law or my parents or whoever is taking care of the baby can feed the baby while I can do something else, and I don't have to worry about rushing back or stopping recording to go feed the baby. So if you can, do pump to relieve yourself from engorgement, and just to relieve yourself and give yourself some time to just husa. Okay. So the last tip to do is do take vitamins that keep your energy high or give you energy. So what I did after my pregnancy, even after giving birth, I still kept taking my prenatals, and I still do take my prenatals to the day. But I've also discovered that there's other vitamins out there that are just as good. One that I will recommend is DS24, and that's actually something I was taking when I was trying to conceive with Kamani, and it's really good. It's got folic, biotin, everything you can think of. I took DS24, really good one. But another thing that I just came across now with the help from my husband's friend is sea moss. Organic sea moss. It's got 97 natural minerals, guys, and it's an energy booster, a natural energy booster of note. If you want a CMOS hookup, let me know, okay? But it's so amazing. Like, I actually feel so energized lately. And I've actually stopped taking DS-24 because if you're taking CMOS, you can't take something that has iodine too, because too much iodine buildup could just mess with your thyroid function. So make sure that you know what supplements to put together, or just consult your doctor. Also, that helps, okay? Wait, hold up. So another lost do of breastfeeding is eat foods that help increase your milk production. So these are things like oats, what I was eating earlier, like beans. Those are natural milk production enhancers. So if you can get your hands on like just simple oats every morning, that has helped me so much. Like, I have a big bowl of oats every single morning, and my milk production is just consistently, like, it's blowing my mind. Like, it helps. Beans and oats have been my staple, and it's also helped with my weight loss. Like, I'm losing weight all the time, but I'm also staying healthy for my baby. So do research what are increasing breast milk foods. But if you want me to do a video on that, I am happy to. Let me know in the comments below. So let's jump into the don'ts. Things that you just don't do it. They're the opposite of the do's, but some of them aren't. I just want to explain some of them, and some of them I won't, because they like the opposite of the do's. So first one is, don't skip your meals. Don't skip your meals or go on a low calorie diet. I know it's tempting to like want to snap back. I know it's tempting to just like, you want to look good, because when you look good you feel good. But don't skip your meals. Don't go on a low calorie diet. That decreases your milk supply, and that's just going to frustrate you even more, okay? Just wait for the period where you are done with breastfeeding, but you'll also see with continuous breastfeeding, you actually lose weight from the breastfeeding. So don't skip meals. Don't go on a low calorie diet. And then tip number 2 of don't. Do not be impatient. And obviously that ties into the first tip of do be patient, but don't be impatient, because that causes stress, decreasing your milk supply. So tip number 3 of don'ts. Don't expect to sleep a stretch of 6 hours per night, or a stretch of 6 hours whenever. It's not going to happen, mainly because your boobs are going to feel so engorged. Even if your baby is sleeping for like 7-8 hours, you're going to have to wake up and actually try to relieve yourself so that you don't have blockage or clogs or whatever, because those are pretty sore. So make sure that you relieve yourself like a maximum of every, if your baby sleeps 8 hours, do it in between, like the 4 hours in between, where you just pump and wait for your baby for the next 4 hours. So don't expect to sleep stretches of like 8 hours per night. You could, but that might also decrease your milk supply, because your body's thinking, baby doesn't feed during the night, so I may as well stop milk production during this time, because this baby doesn't eat during the night. So increase or maintain your milk production by pumping in between the long stretches of sleep. Next tip is, don't be afraid to ask for help, okay? It's inevitable to ask for help when you're breastfeeding. You're not going to be able to do the things that you want to do, especially if your baby is in cluster feed mode. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to WhatsApp your husband in the next room to say, can you please bring me some water? Don't be afraid to ask for help from your mom-in-law. If help is offered to you, take as much help as you can get, so that your body can also rest and you have the mental strength to deal with breastfeeding. The second last tip is, don't eat foods that cause gas. So if it causes gas for you, like severe gas for you, trust me, it might like infiltrate into your breast milk, and yeah, it 100%, like for me, like I told you, my fenugreek experience, if you don't know and you didn't watch the previous video, please watch it. Fenugreek is not for me. And yeah, just don't take or eat foods that give you gas, because colic in babies is so serious, and that it's just stressful all in all. Avoid it. Research your foods. I would avoid dairy if you can avoid dairy and consuming a lot of dairy that causes gas in your baby. And then the last tip is, don't take supplements that weren't recommended or given to you by the doctor, aka me when I took fenugreek. It's a no-no. Don't do it. You know, if your doctor hasn't recommended this to you and you're not sure about it, don't do it. Rather ask your doctor, or just take like natural foods, like eat natural foods, eat oats, eat beans, eat you know, milk increasing stuff. The only ones that I know that work for me is oats and beans, honestly. That's why I keep mentioning them. But there's like a list of things that you can eat that help increase your milk supply. So that's that for the do's and don'ts of breastfeeding, and I'm hoping to do like a part 3 at some point, just to tell you how I increase my milk supply over time. It's been an interesting journey, just trying to figure out how to increase the milk supply and getting a balance of just, you know, hormones, and a balance of not trying to make your baby gassy, a balance of you eating but also losing weight. So I've had to just like figure it out on my journey, and I'm hoping to do like another part when he's like 8 months old, just to give you an update on how I increase my milk supply in my exclusively breastfeeding journey. So I hope you enjoyed this, guys, and I will see you in the next video. If you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button below, okay? And I hope to see you in the next video, and I love you loads and loads. Comment below what you would like to see on my channel. I'm so excited, guys. I'm so excited just to see like the new subscribers. I started this channel just like I wanted it to be a diary, but now I feel like it's a community, and I'm thrilled. I'm excited. See you next time. Love you.